A 15-year-old girl was about to sell her dead father's guitar for just £150. What happened next, no one on that street would ever forget. A 15-year-old girl sits alone on a cold London sidewalk, her knees pulled to her chest, tears sliding quietly down her cheeks. Beside her rests an old acoustic guitar case. A handwritten cardboard sign is taped to the case. In unsteady letters, it reads, "Urgent sale, £150. She reaches up and wipes her tears with the back of her hand, then turns to look at the guitar. Her eyes carry a pain far older than her years. Behind her stands a modest terraced house, its paint slightly faded, its windows dim, a home that has seen better days. Her mind drifts. She sees her father, younger, warm, full of life, sitting in that same house, holding this very guitar, smiling at her with pride. The guitar itself tells a story. Its wood is worn smooth at the edges, its strings slightly aged, the marks of 1,000 songs played with love. She can't help it. She wraps both arms around the guitar case and holds it against her chest, as if letting go would mean losing him all over again. Around her, the city moves without pause. Pedestrians walk past, eyes forward, bags swinging, not one of them stops, not one of them notices. A wide shot reveals the full weight of the moment, the sprawling London street, the blur of strangers, and one small girl sitting completely alone beside everything she has left. The memory blooms warmer now. Inside the living room, bathed in soft golden light, her father sits beside her, patient and gentle, teaching her how to play guitar for the very first time. Two pairs of hands rest on the strings together, his large and sure, hers small and uncertain, but learning, always learning. She gets a chord right and bursts into laughter. Her father laughs with her. The room feels full of something irreplaceable. Then he takes the guitar for himself. He plays with the quiet confidence of a man who has spent his whole life with music, and smiles as if this is exactly where he belongs. Then in a single terrible moment, everything changes. His hand drops from the strings, his face tightens, he presses a fist to his chest. She reaches for him instantly, her small hands grabbing his arm, her voice breaking as she calls his name. Outside in the dark of night, blue and red ambulance lights pulse against the windows of the house, cold and urgent and final. A hospital hallway stretches long and silent. Fluorescent light hums overhead. Time has slowed to something unbearable. She sits alone in a waiting chair, the guitar case resting against her legs. She holds it the way a child holds the last piece of someone they love. Back home, the kitchen table is buried under paper, bills, final notices, red-stamped envelopes. The weight of it is visible before a single number is read. She sits at that table, carefully counting coins. A small pile, not enough. She already knows it's not enough. The kitchen shelves behind her are nearly bare. A few tins, an empty bread bag, the refrigerator holding almost nothing. A plate of food sits in front of her, small as it is. She can't bring herself to eat. She pushes it away slowly and stares at the wall. A hard knock rattles the front door. She opens it to find the landlord, arms crossed, expression unmoved, demanding what she cannot give. In her hand, she holds the notice. The word eviction sits at the top in bold black print. She stands in the hallway and stares at the guitar case leaning against the wall. A long, quiet, devastating look. Her jaw is set. Her eyes are wet. In her memory, she hears his voice, calm and certain. Never give up on music. His face is so clear she could almost touch it. And then she makes the decision, not with rage, not with drama, just a slow, quiet nod, the kind that costs everything. She kneels on the floor and opens the guitar case. With careful, deliberate hands, she begins to place the guitar inside, as if tucking something precious in for the last time. A close view of her hands, trembling slightly as her fingers press the latches. She pauses, breathes, continues. The clasps click shut. She stares at the closed case for a long moment, her hands still resting on it. She stands and looks around the room, the bare walls, the empty shelves, the silence of a house that used to hold music. She takes it all in one last time. She lifts the case and walks to the front door, each step slow, each step sure. Outside, a few neighbors stand at their doors and windows. They watch her go. Nobody speaks. The street holds its breath. She walks through the winding streets of London until she reaches a busy open-air market. Voices, movement, life all around her. She finds a spot on the pavement, sets the guitar case down, and opens it carefully. She steps back and looks at it, displayed now for the world. She pulls the handwritten sign from her coat pocket and attaches it to the case. 150 pounds, 3 pounds numbers, an entire world. The market is alive around her. Vendors call out, shoppers move in every direction, children dart between legs. She sits at the center of it all, perfectly still. She opens the case wider, angling the guitar so the light catches it, an offering, a hope. And the guitar is beautiful. Even here, even now, it holds a kind of quiet dignity, its grain warm, its curves graceful. People glance as they pass, some slow for half a second. None of them stop. Their eyes move on the way eyes always do when something doesn't concern them. A group of tourists passes. One of them raises a camera, not to buy, just to photograph the scene. They laugh among themselves and move on. One man crouches down and examines the guitar closely, turning it slightly in the light. She leans forward. He stands up and walks away without a word. She sits back down, her shoulders lower, her eyes grow distant. The exhaustion of hoping is beginning to show. Above her, the sky shifts, the pale gray deepens. The light changes the way it does in London before rain arrives. A clock on a nearby shop reads later than she realized. The hours have passed. The guitar is still unsold. The first drops fall, soft at first, barely felt, then steadier. The market shuffles and opens umbrellas. She moves quickly, pulling a cloth from her bag and draping it carefully over the guitar, protecting it, even now protecting it. Raindrops land on the surface of the case, catching the gray light, rolling slowly down the sides. She presses her lips together and looks upward for just a moment, holding something back. Then she looks down again. The crowd becomes a blur of motion, umbrellas, coats, hurried footsteps. She sits motionless in the middle of it, like a stone in a river. She wraps her arms around the covered guitar and leans forward, holding it close. It is the only still thing in the world right now. The sounds of the market, the shouts, the laughter, the rumble of wheels on cobblestones seem to fade around her, as if the world has turned down its own volume. Her head drops, her eyes close briefly. She has run out of the kind of strength that shows. Across the street, half-shadowed under an awning, a man stands watching. He has been there for a while now. His hands are in the pockets of a dark leather jacket. His eyes don't leave the girl. The man steps off the curb and begins walking toward her, unhurried, deliberate. The rain doesn't seem to bother him. His boots move across the wet pavement, each step measured, each step certain. As he draws closer, his face becomes clear, older, weathered, the face of someone who has known stages and storms and everything in between. He stops in front of the guitar case and looks down at it, still, saying nothing yet. His eyes find the sign. He reads it once, 150 pounds. Something moves behind his expression. The girl looks up at him slowly, cautious, uncertain, too tired to read what he wants. He leans down, studying the guitar more closely, not the way a buyer studies a product, the way a musician recognizes something real. With both hands, he lifts the guitar gently from the case, carefully, with the instinctive respect of someone who understands exactly what he is holding. He turns it once in his hands. His expression changes, quiet recognition, something like reverence. This is not just an instrument to him. He adjusts his grip, settles the guitar against his body the natural way, as if it belongs there. His fingers find the neck without searching. A close view of his left hand, as his fingertips press lightly against the strings, finding the shape of the first chord. And then he plays, a single melody, soft, slow, unmistakably beautiful. It drifts out across the wet street like something that was always meant to be heard here. The girl's eyes go wide. She straightens. For a moment, she forgets everything except the sound coming from her father's guitar. People stop walking. One by one, then in groups, they turn toward the music. A circle begins to form, quietly and without invitation. Her eyes blur. She is not fully here anymore. She is in the living room, watching her father play, a little girl again for just a few seconds. The crowd has gone completely still. Nobody speaks. The market, for this one moment, has stopped. The man plays with his eyes half closed, fully inside the music, present and distant at the same time, the way only the truly gifted can be. The melody fills the street. It moves between the market stalls, into doorways, through the rain. People who cannot see him stop to listen from a distance. The final note rings out, held for a breath, then released. The man lowers the guitar slowly. The street remains silent for one more moment. Then the crowd reacts. Applause rises, genuine, surprised, grateful. People look at each other, moved by something they didn't expect to find here today. The girl is crying, but it is a different kind of crying now, not the hollow grief of before. Something has been returned to her, though she couldn't name it yet. The man reaches into the inside pocket of his jacket and pulls out a folded sum of money. He holds it without making a show of it. Her eyes fall on the money, her lips part. She shakes her head almost imperceptibly, the reflex of someone who has learned not to expect things. He extends his hand toward her, offering it simply and without ceremony. No performance, just the gesture of one human being toward another. She doesn't move at first. Her hands stay at her sides. She is weighing something that goes beyond money. He holds her gaze and says something quietly. His face is calm. Whatever he says, it is enough. Her hands come up slowly. She accepts the money. They tremble not from cold, but from the effort of receiving something when you have spent so long going without. He holds the guitar out toward her. She blinks, confused. He nods once, gently, making it clear. The guitar goes back to her. The money was never a trade. She takes it from his hands and holds it against her chest. Something breaks open in her quietly, not into pieces, but into light. The crowd begins to applaud again, warmly this time, for her, for this, for what just happened on an ordinary street on an ordinary rainy afternoon. She holds the guitar tightly, arms wrapped around it the way she did that very first day, but her face is different now. The grief is still there, but it has company. The man smiles. It is a small smile, private, real, the kind that doesn't need an audience. He turns and begins walking away through the thinning crowd. He doesn't look back. He doesn't need to. She watches him go. Her eyes follow him until the crowd folds around him and he disappears, as quietly as he arrived. The street glows. The rain has softened to mist. The last of the afternoon sun breaks through the gray clouds and washes the cobblestones in gold. And there she sits, the guitar resting across her knees, her fingers finding the strings for the first time, not out of memory, but out of choice. She begins to play, quietly, hopefully, like someone who has just remembered who they are.